I've actually been known as Rahil's mom. My journey in Anthea started with my son Rahil. I had no clue about Montessori before this, but I knew I didn't want to put my child in a traditional school. I knew I was scarred by it, so I knew I wanted something different. I wanted to give my child the opportunity to learn, not to be forced to be taught, right? And I stumbled upon meeting Suchi in another school, and then she told me she started Anthea, and that's where my journey with Montessori started. Um, a little background. So Rahil was with the school for 1.5 years. I saw this magnificent change in my son, which nothing could bring but the environment that he was in and the teachers that they were part of. Right. Looking at that, after 2 years, when Anthea was growing, I had the opportunity to join in and be part of this wonderful system because I firsthand saw the change. And there's nothing for me to say than to see it. Right. So when I started, I honestly started off saying that I'm not too good with kids. 90% of the parents feel they're not good with kids and they don't want to be part of the system. And I did the same thing. I started off saying I just wanted to be part of the admin team. I will take care of the running of the school, but I don't want to do anything with children because I felt I didn't have patience. But then when I started, it was, I think, the second week, the teacher was not available, who was supposed to be part of the environment, and then I just had to step in. And I think it gave me a different satisfaction, a different perspective about a classroom and about children themselves, right? When you start interacting with these children, you start to realize how much they're giving you than vice versa. So you're learning about yourself, you're learning about what this environment has to be for them to perform or for them to be a part of it, right? So that's where my journey started. And then Suchi and Anupama gave me the opportunity to be part of the toddler environment. So that's where I started being part of this classroom. I think being...
Sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. I think getting into a school to teach from the root of, parenthood is, a very organic entry and quite a nice entry because it's you are bringing, some of your understandings of children and children of this age group to come in. And I can imagine for someone like you who, as you stated, was quite disillusioned with the, normal mainstream sort of educational models, to see the Montessori environment must have been a big healing, right, in many ways. And I think what I want to really ask you, Priya, is, of course, the special part about Montessori, not Montessori, Anthea, is the Montessori environment. And there are several Montessori schools, right? I just want to understand I understand you came in as a parent. And, in one way, in some sense, your child was already in the school. So maybe for you to embrace the school wasn't so hard. But how have you felt like the leadership and the vision of this particular Montessori school, Anthea? How has the vision and leadership helped you grow? From a parent, coming in as a parent, to moving into, now a teacher who is gaining in knowledge about, the Montessori pedagogy, curriculum, about, children, their needs, their developmental needs, etc. So how has the vision and leadership at Anthea really supported you in this growth?
It's been actually a very enlightening journey for me. Like you said, from a parent, because you're always seeing only one perspective. Has it affected my child? Has my child grown? Is my child developing in this area? To coming in from the inside, to see the work that goes behind the screen, kind of say, has been refreshing in a certain way. From like, for me, it was first hand Suchi and Anupama, working with them, because that was the first. After them, we took on to being part of the school. So providing a lot of reading, that's the mantra I felt was very different from any other school. When I came in, it was expected for us to read. It was expected for us to learn about the different aspects. Education and teaching is not like you learn about the subject and teach the child. It's nothing to do with that, is what I just realized after being part of the classroom. That you don't have to learn anything about the subject, but about everything else that supports it. Right? How the environment needs to be placed. What is the development of the child? You never realize that there are only small windows of opportunity for these children, and you as an educator have such an important part in providing the right environment for it. So unless you're aware of that, how are you going to contribute, right? So for me as an educator, I feel the vision of the school was to do the best for the child. And how do you do the best for the child is to learn what is the need of the child.
Can you share a bit about what sort of readings? Just some examples.
The first thing is we used to do chapter readings of different areas. For example, the absorbent mind, right, or the sensitive period. For me, in a toddler environment, these are the two classic traits of a child in this environment, right? If I didn't know about the sensitive period, right, understanding what is the need of the sensitive, what are the need right now, it's physical, it's more of sensorial touches. So if I don't provide an environment where the child can work more with their hands, more with their regular senses to enhance them to develop better, right? So this is the stepping stone for anything they will achieve in life. So for me, that reading was a thing. Oh my God, I needed to put out different materials, different textures, which people don't even realize is important. The first thing I tell my parent is let the child touch everything in the house. That was a learning for me, because I was able to read more and tell them that it's important for the child to experience. So that was one of the classic of me reading, and which they provided to me, right? Second thing is encouraging me to go for more sessions. There are, it's like you never stop to learn when you're part of a classroom, right? For some reason, everybody think teachers are the one who provide the thing, but it's vice versa. You continuously learn, right? So letting me go and giving me the opportunity to go to another city to learn about this environment, this plane of development, was something that was encouraged by them, right? So that is another development for me as an educator, which the school continuously pushes forward for.
Okay, this is really refreshing to hear, Priya, because what you're saying essentially is that for the leadership of the school, it really doesn't matter if you've been, formally trained in the Montessori method. It sounds like as long as you're open to learning and being an observant adult and being a sensitive adult and willing to learn, essentially, that there are no obstacles, and that really you're given opportunities to grow and really become the best educator that you can possibly be.
Yeah, and the best part is that we're all here together. And that was more comforting for me. That it's not like, I know they're trained adults that come into this environment, which is expected, right? It's good that you're trained, you get more knowledge about the in-depth part of it, but I'm willing to learn. And if you're willing to give me that knowledge, I'm willing to share it, right? So that was also very, helped me as an educator become one, right? That you share as much as you can, you share every single bit. So we always joke about Suchi continuously bombarding us with these news articles, getting people to come in and talk about different aspects, right? About child development, about areas of thing that is very not directly related to your education, but it's important that you're aware of. Right? These are things that has really helped me as an overall person also to develop. Right? If you're in a classroom, you need to be aware of all this. So this has, I think, the vision of the school has really guided me towards knowing what I want to be. Right? Like I started off being just a parent, an entho parent, I can call myself. Being involved in everything that I want to do with my child, to being a more informed adult right now. That is a classic difference I see about me from the start to 4 years now in school. So
sounds lovely, Priya. Sounds like this is an educational environment, not just for the child, but as well as well for the adult, you know. So thank you so much. That
Right.
is really
I
open
have
sharing.
one more to add,
Sure,
which
sure.
is very, I think is very important,
Yeah.
is flexibility, which you spoke
Mhm.
about a little.
Yeah.
But being part of this environment, being part of Anthea,
Yeah.
has taught me to have this multiple hats,
Okay.
right? It's not that it's my work, it's
Yeah.
all our work. So there are
Yeah.
days where I have been the admin, I have been the security guard, I have been the van driver one day, to being a teacher in the environment as well, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it is important that in our school we are aware that we do a lot of roles. We are here as a community, and that's very important for us to be.
Okay.
So I feel very loved, very welcomed, very respected in a certain way being part of the school.
That
So
sounds lovely. I mean, I like that they use the word "you feel loved," and I think that's so important in a school setting. You know, there has to be you have to feel love in the air
yeah,
and in the environment. Thanks so much, Priya, for the little addition. I think that was very vital. Thank you
no,
so
no,
much.
it's an absolute pleasure, and I can't. I'm only just growing here, so I can only say that.
That's great.